Welcome to Scambaiting emails. I would have thought the United Nations would be better organized than evidenced by this correspondence. It all begins with an email whose subject line is, "You are fined lucky." I'm pretty sure I've never before seen an email with that subject line, so I guess the scammers earn an extra point for originality. The email is from Mrs. Joy Gotson, attention beneficiary. This is to notify you that the United Nations Secretary General has deliberated with the World Bank for a compensation payment on scammed victims from America, Europe, Asia, and Africa, so your email emerged as one of the lucky beneficiaries. I write to let you know that the sum of $3,500,000, $3,500,000 United States dollars, has been approved in your favor. Simply contact this bona fide agent on the information below so that he can send the ATM card or bank transfer to you. Name, Mary Liz Power. Kindly contact him immediately on how to receive your ATM card or bank transfer without any delay. Regards, Mrs. Joy Gotson. That's an intriguing introduction, but it omits at least one very important piece of information. Dear Mrs. Joy Gotson, in your email to me, which I just received, you ask me to contact your bona fide agent, Mary Liz Power, but you do not tell me how to contact her. How am I supposed to contact her if you don't tell me how to do that? And yes, I screwed up on the correct gender of Mary Liz. I referred to Mary Liz as her when, obviously, Mary Liz is a him. Is this your first day on the job? Are you still undergoing the training necessary to perform to the standards that everyone expects from somebody who works with the United Nations Secretary General? Or is this some sort of sick, perverted joke that you play on complete strangers as a way to divert yourself from the types of existential questions that otherwise might creep into your consciousness, where you would have to face them face to face? As the French saying goes, wasting your time is a waste of time, which is too precious to waste. I couldn't agree more if I tried. Please, either make sense or don't waste my time. In sincerity, Rob, or as my friends call me, Rob McClen. Several weeks go by with no reply from Mrs. Gotson, so I reach out to her again. Dear Mrs. Joy Gotson, it has been almost a month since I replied to your email asking for the information that is necessary to comply with your request that I contact Mary Liz Power. What kind of information, you ask? Well, for one thing, I am unable to contact Mary Liz Power if you don't give me his contact information. How do I contact him so that he can send the ATM card or bank transfer to me? Cordially, Rob McClen. Obviously, my stern tone of voice has the desired effect on Mrs. Joy Gotson because she replies that very same day. Attention, Rob McClen. It is my pleasure once again to intimate you that your dealings with me is genuine and authentic. Hence, every promise I made must be fulfilled as well as your fund will be released to you immediately. However, I have done so much here and outside the country to so many individuals and companies who have similar problems as your case may be, as I told you earlier on to hold me on my word. Honestly, I would appreciate the fact that you should abide by my advice, and I am standing here to guarantee that no amount of money you committed or entrust with me in order to issue these documents that would be in vain. I am a very honest person, and I will not engage myself humbly self to deceive or cheat on you while I am here trying to stop corruptions both in government and private individuals. All I have to say is that trials will convince you, so try me with this, and I believe I will not disappoint you. Simply contact this bona fide agent on the information below so that he can send the ATM card or bank transfer to you. Name, Mary Liz Power. Email, and she gives an email address. Contact him immediately on how to receive your ATM card or bank transfer without any delay. Remember to send your name and information you used previously. Regards, Mrs. Joy Gotson. This time, Mrs. Joy Gotson really wants to make sure I receive her message in a timely fashion because the following day she sends me another copy of that exact same email. Now that I have an email address to write to, I promptly contact Mary Liz Power. Dear Mr. Mary Liz Power, somebody named Mrs. Joy Gotson asked me to send an email to you at this address. Unfortunately, she seemed a bit confused in explaining why I should contact you. In fact, The first time she contacted me, she said I should send an email to you, but forgot to give me your address. Can you believe that? I sure can't. Do you know this person called Mrs. Joy Godson? If so, do you know she's telling people to contact you like this? It might be just my imagination running away with me, but I can't fight this feeling that she might just be some kind of nut or something, if you know what I mean. If you do know Mrs. Joy Godson and why she wants me to contact you, please be kind enough to elucidate me about the various facts that resulted in this strange correspondence with a stranger whom I don't know. Thank you in advance for all of your kind help, if you have any in this particular case. In sincerity, Rob McClellan. Several hours later, I hear back from Mary Liz Power, I think. Although it might be yet another missive from Mrs. Joy Godson. Here, see what you think. Based on your response, please, can you read this mail below I know is from Mrs. Joy Godson? Sir Rob McClellan. It appears that somewhere along the way the United Nations has knighted me, and if you're like me, I think you have to agree that's pretty nice of them. This is to notify you that the United Nations Secretary General has deliberated with the World Bank for a compensation payment on scammed victims from America, Europe, Asia, and Africa, so your email emerged as one of the lucky beneficiaries. I write to let you know that the sum of $3,500,000, $3,500,000 United States dollars, has been approved in your favor. Simply contact this bona fide agent on the information below so that he can send the ATM card or bank transfer to you. Name, Mary Liz Power. Kindly contact him immediately on how to receive your ATM card or bank transfer without any delay. Regards, Mrs. Joy Godson. Yours sincerely, Mary Liz Power. As you can see, obviously that email was written either by Mrs. Joy Godson or by Mr. Mary Liz Power. Less obvious is which of them wrote it. Dear Mr. Mary Liz Power, okay, I read your email, which instructs me to contact you immediately. But I already contacted you immediately, and all you did was reply to my email with an email of your own that instructs me to contact you immediately, which is something I already have done. Based on your reply to my earlier email, this feels like endlessly climbing Jacob's ladder. I might as well be talking to the moon. What is your reason for sending me an email that says I should contact you immediately when I already just did contact you immediately, and all that happened was you replied that I should contact you immediately? Frankly, I'm puzzled. Rob McClellan. I don't receive a reply from Mr. Mary Liz Power. In fact, I don't hear from anybody for 7 weeks when my email inbox lights up with this missive from Mrs. Joy Godson, which is nothing more than a reprint of the email she sent me 2 months earlier, the one that asked me to contact Mary Liz Power. And now I must admit that I am beginning to lose my patience. Dear Mrs. Joy Godson, how many times are you going to ask me to contact Mary Liz Power? 3 months ago, you wrote to me and asked me to contact him, but you didn't give me his contact information. Can you believe that? I sure can't. So I wrote back to you at your email address and told you I could not contact Mr. Mary Liz Power without knowing his contact information. Do you want to know what you said to me in reply to my request for his contact information? Nothing. You didn't even bother to reply. So I wrote to you again about a month ago, asking you for a second time how I am supposed to establish contact with this person you call Mary Liz Power, if indeed he even exists. Finally, you sent me a reply that included Mary Liz Power's email address. So I wrote to him and explained that you had asked me to make contact with him and very politely requested that he elucidate me regarding what this is all about. He responded that very same day. You'll never guess what his response was. Don't even try to guess, because you'll never guess. He sent me a copy of your original email to me, which I already had received earlier from you, and that's all he sent me. Nearly 2 months ago, I wrote back to him asking him to explain the reason he sent me a copy of an email that says I should contact him immediately when I already had contacted him immediately. Do you know what his answer was? Well, I sure don't, because he never even answered me. Can you believe that? I sure can't. And now, yet another month later, you write to me to ask again that I contact Mary Liz Power. Maybe you have lots and lots of extra time to waste, but I can't go for that. No can do. I am beginning to think that perhaps you don't even have the sum of $3,500,000, $3,500,000 United States dollars to send me. Luckily, my income from the Kung Fu Fighting League is enough that I'm getting along just fine without you now. You just sort of wasted my precious time, which is a terrible thing to waste. Is all of this just some stupid practical joke? If so, I have to tell you it is neither practical nor a good joke. I enjoy a good joke as much as the next guy, assuming he likes jokes, but if this is your idea of a joke, then it's definitely not a good one, I can tell you that. What's with you, anyway? In sincerity, Rob McClellan. P.S. I had started to write an extra P.S., but the phone rang and I forgot what it was. If I remember what it was, maybe I'll send it to you. Mr. Mary Liz replies to me that same day. Attention, Rob McClellan. In order not to waste much time and for the ATM card to be issued as soon as possible, I urge you to go ahead and send your information today while we proceed on the issuance of the certificates. I expect you to understand the urgency and act swiftly. Forward below details, your full name, your address, a bunch of personal stuff that's, really none of his business. Waiting to hear from you. Respectfully, attention, Mary Liz Power. Dear Mary Liz Power, I will be glad to send you the information you're asking for if I have it, but first you have to explain to me what in the devil's punch bowl you're talking about. Expecting me to do all that paperwork before knowing what in blazes this is all about, well, respectfully, I think you're putting the cartridge before the holster. Mrs. Joy Goodson assured me that she is a very honest person who is trying to stop corruption. I think that is a noble endeavor, and I would be happy to assist in any way I can if only either you or Mrs. Joy Goodson would be generous enough to answer just a few basic questions so that I may understand the communications I have been receiving from each of you. These are the questions I have. I am sure the answer to each will be very easy for you, inasmuch as you already know what you are talking about, while I still don't. 1. Mrs. Joy Goodson's original email to me said something about my being a scam victim, but she didn't explain which time she was talking about. Was it the pickpocket on the bus in Prague, Europe? Was it the consignment box I paid the delivery company to deliver, but it never was? Or was it that lady in Brazil to whom I sent $24,095, that's US dollars, so that she could pay her attorney for the visa to come visit me, which, by the way, she never did, which is why I think maybe she was doing a scam. I am proud to say that none of those scams, as they are called, was for as much as $3,500,000, $3,500,000 United States dollars. I guess maybe if I added them all up, the total would be higher than they are individually, but even added all up, I don't think it would be that high a number of dollars, do I? 2. Mrs. Joy Goodson also mentioned something about issuing these documents. What documents is she talking about? 3. Then Mrs. Joy Goodson said something that really confused and concerned me. All I have to say is that trials will convince you. What trials? Am I being accused of having committed one or more crimes? If so, what crimes? And what evidence could you possibly have that would cause me to be convicted by a jury and/or a judge? Please elucidate me about the 3 easy questions I just asked so that I may understand what we are doing and can then hurry to you the details and information you asked me to send to you. In sincerity, Rob McClellan. Little more than an hour later, Mr. Mary Liz replies, with a copy of the email he had sent me the previous day, which prompted this prompt reply from me. Dear Mr. Mary Liz Power, I think it's very interesting that you consider answering 3 simple questions to help me understand what's going on here, to be quoting you word for word in a verbatim manner, too much of a waste of time, which were your exact words. I can only assume that you are either a con man or an idiot. I didn't get where I am today by wasting my time with a con man or an idiot, and I certainly have no plans to start now. Someone should warn Mrs. Joy Goodson that your obstructive intransigence is preventing people from working together with her to fight corruption and to promote honesty and other good things. As anyone who knows me will tell you, I am not the kind of person to call you a corrupt and dishonest idiot simply because it is true. But I didn't get where I am today by wasting my time with corrupt and dishonest idiots, such as you, who won't even answer 3 easy questions to explain better how I can assist Mrs. Joy Goodson in her good works. Shame on you for being so lazy and an idiot. Cordially, Rob McClent. Frankly, by now I've had it with these people, or this person with 2 different names, so I compose one final email. Dear Mrs. Joy Goodson, I regret to tell you that Mr. Mary Liz Power appears to be too lazy to take the small amount of time necessary to explain a few details that are necessary for me to understand before I am able to work with you with your admirable desire to stop corruptions both in government and private individuals. How lazy is he? Too lazy to answer just 3 easy for him questions to help me understand this better. He has wasted so much of everyone's time, I don't think he shares your desire to do good in the world and stop corruptions. In fact, his odd behavior makes me wonder if he secretly is working for certain corrupt governments and individuals. To be fair, I suppose it's possible that he is not corrupt and dishonest and contemptible, but on the other hand, simply an idiot. Either way, I cannot waste any more of my time on a corrupt idiot. Your cause is so noble that naturally I wanted to be a part of it, but I didn't get where I am today by letting corrupt and dishonest idiots waste my time. I'm sure you would be able to accomplish many, many more good things if you didn't have to rely on a corrupt idiot such as Mr. Mary Liz Power to help you. I sure wish I could have worked with you on this project, but as my aunt, Maggie May, as my mother's sister, likes to say, if someone gives you a reason to believe they're an idiot, stay far away from them. In sincerity, Rob McClent. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel so you'll know whenever I've added a new Scambaiting email video. If you'll be kind enough to share your comments, suggestions, requests, and reactions to this video in the comments section below, I promise to make sure Rob sees it. It's been an honor to share this Scambaiting adventure with you. In sincerity and on behalf of Rob McClent.